Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Dr. Don Presnell here, Director of the Common Reading Program. I'm going to go ahead and introduce Ann Ehringhaus from Ocracoke Island. So Ann moved to Ocracoke Island, which is part of North Carolina's Outer Banks, back in 1971 when she was age 22, so not that long ago, to teach, like that, Ann, to teach in the one-room schoolhouse. You're welcome. The island population was 550. She's the author of two books about the island, Ocracoke Portrait, Photographs and Quotes, published in 1988, and 10,000 Breakfasts, about 30 years in the bed and breakfast business she started on the island. In 2020, she published a book of poetry, much of which is inspired by her life near the ocean. She's exhibited her photography all over the Southeast. Her pictures made on Ocracoke after Hurricane Dorian in 2019 were chosen for the Photoville Fence, the largest outdoor photography show in the world. She has watched sea level rising for 50 years on this small 15-mile long island, and today Ocracoke has about 900 residents.
Hello, everybody. I want to say a little bit about Ocracoke Island, which is part of North Carolina's Outer Banks. It's south of Cape Hatteras. It's a small 15-mile island, and 14 miles of it is a national seashore. But there's a lot that can happen in a 1-mile little village, and that's what Ocracoke has. It's located 23 miles off the coast of North Carolina, and we have 3 ferries that approach. And, they run when they can. Right now, I can't get home because the ferries haven't run for a few days. A big thing I want to say is how much I learned about impermanence living there, and how much I stopped having expectations that everything would happen the way we wanted it to, or somebody said it would. The weather really rules everything. That affects the ferries, that affects who's coming or who's going. And after a while, I realized, okay, I'm changing. I'm just accepting that. And it took a lot of pressure off always expecting everything to work. I don't expect everything to work. And I see how much difficulty that makes for visitors to the island because they want everything to work. They haven't lived there for 30 years or 10 years or 10 weeks. They would learn it fast. You can learn it in about 2 weeks, but they haven't done that. So they're constantly disappointed or mad. And I think coastal people, one reason coastal people are so flexible, I'm not going to say resilient, I'm going to say flexible, is because we've all dealt with this. And it has shaped us. It's made us who we are. I see all these, what a lot of people would call difficulties, I see them as life shapers. And they have helped me be happy with less, but the natural beauty is the main thing we have. So I never feel deprived. That's why I moved there. The natural beauty was just so incredible. And here I am 50 years later, and that just fills me up in some kind of way that I can't really describe other than to say it's deeply nourishing and spiritual. We've undergone a tremendous amount of change, tremendous amount. I worked on the land use planning committee and began to learn about the importance of the wetlands and how development limits the effectiveness of wetlands for stormwater runoff. Now, if it rains for 3 hours, the roads are flooded. That's a big problem. We've had an invasion of Phragmites, which is a wetland invasive plant. We never used to have it. I never remember seeing it. And only in the last 5 years do I really see it all over the wetlands. And it again is going to slow down the stormwater runoff if we have hurricanes or flooding. It's a problem. I want to go to Hurricane Dorian. On September 6, 2019, we had 7 feet of water come over the island, and people have compared the sound of it to a train. It was pushing a tremendous force over the island. We had 600 houses that were flooded, and that's probably about half to a third of all that we have. And we had 400 cars that were flooded. I've lost 3 cars now in hurricanes. So that is a tremendous amount of loss for a tiny town. We have had 50 historic houses torn down, and that is never coming back. I mean, those historic homes, they're never coming back. And that's what got me started about making pictures of after Dorian. And, people say this about hurricanes. I don't know why people won't leave. Well, they won't leave because this is their home. And if they leave and then the ferries don't run, they can't return. And then they're staying in a motel and they're just spending money, and money they don't want to spend and sometimes don't have to spend. So it's way more complicated than just why aren't other people doing what I think they should do. It's way more complicated than that. In conclusion, I want to say I feel like we have got to learn how to grieve, because grieving is totally in line with what has happened. And for everybody to stop thinking that everything is supposed to last forever. Whoever said that? Who told us that? That if it's good now, we don't ever want it to change. It's going to stay just like this. And I don't know who we're trying to protect by not telling them there are many challenges in life. And the coast, as great as it is, has become a very big challenge. Very big.
And I knew what you were going to talk about. I am still caught off guard in a good way. Thank you again, Ann. That was just amazing.
Thank you.